Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Slim and Hutch podcast. I say slightly different to what we normally do. This week is mental health podcast. Um, Doing a few things a little bit different. I'm streaming over Facebook. I am also recording to put it out onto YouTube, and that will be out in the next couple of days, and I'll get that sorted. The audio will already go up because that does automatically, but that will be up there. Tonight we are joined by DPART. As you've probably seen, I've been talking about him pretty much leading up to this since we knew we were doing it. Obviously letting people know about his music that he does. Very, how can I put it? Very deep. And if you listen, I say, to the lyrics, I think maybe a lot of people would kind of relate to it. I know some of them I did myself. I'm going to play one of his songs. I hope the quality comes through the way I want it to. But this one is called Urgency. I hope you enjoy it.
Answer the phone. Did you answer the phone?
Walter, if you have Jeff's voicemail, the person you're calling can't take your call at the moment. Please leave your message after the tone. You can re-record your message by pressing hash at any time.
Just like you didn't answer, so I'm leaving you a message. The friendship over the years, it has really been a blessing. Right now I'm feeling low, like fuck it, only messing. Don't talk about my issues, only music's where I vent it. I just called you for a quick chat. Just finished writing bars, hope I can show you a few quick raps. Cause you know I love the feedback. I'm looking tired in my face, I hope that you can see that. But as men we shouldn't speak that, what's in our head we shouldn't leak that. I'm just hoping that you notice, my brain it is corroding. It's rotting away slowly, it's not something I could cope with. But as men we never show this, cause I know that that's weak. I ain't had like no social interaction in like over a week. I wish you'd use your intuition, come over and see. I know I'd feel so much better just if only we speak. I know that with your help I could get over this peak. But you know I won't ask because you know that's just me, it's deep. Ring, ring, it's an emergency. I just hope when I call you says the urgency. Cause I'm feeling so low that I don't wanna be here. Done so many shots that right now I can't see clear. Ring, ring, it's an emergency. I just hope when I call you says the urgency. Cause I'm feeling so low that I don't wanna be here. Done so many shots that right now I can't see clear. The time is 3 p.m. and I still lay in my bed. Not even sleeping, lying, dreading about the day that's ahead. It's like I think about getting up but have it laying instead. And then I think about going out but then I stay in instead. I'm thinking, would they really care if I just stayed here forever? In a weird way, think the world would be better without all of my dark thoughts. I get to work right and think, why did I even start for? Why did I even start for? Who really wants to hear a man and what's in his mind? If I had my people around me, think I'd manage it in time. I've been on my own so long and now there's madness in my eyes, savage in my mind. And he tells me to do awful stuff. And right now he's probably angry that I brought him up a war in my mind. And trust this battle that I fought been tough, I'm ready for help. So please call back so we can talk and stuff. But stop myself from saying it before I talk too much. Ring, ring, it's an emergency. I just hope when I call you says the urgency. Cause I'm feeling so low that I don't wanna be here. Done so many shots that right now I can't see clear. Ring, ring, it's an emergency. I just hope when I call you says the urgency. Cause I'm feeling so low that I don't wanna be here. Done so many shots that right now I can't see clear.
As I said, that was Urgency from DPART. Hope people enjoyed that, and obviously, as you can tell by the lyrics in that, it's a very, as I say, quite a very deep song, and what it talks about, and it's kind of what we want to touch on in tonight's podcast. I'm going to bring Darren in. Just got to unmute you, mate.
Why are you holding up the talk time, you bastard?
Sorry, mate. No, I just
That's all right.
I just wanted to obviously kind of get across what we've been, what we wanted to do and what we wanted to talk about tonight and stuff like that. So, obviously, as I say, I hope we've got both the Deans in. Actually, it's going to be quite confusing every time one of us says Dean, and I hope it don't get
too many Deans, man.
But no, how have you been, mate? How have you? Are you excited that things are now starting to kind of lift and we can start getting a little bit back to normal?
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. I've already been looking at gigs to book to go to a couple of gigs. So, but yeah, the Lathams are touring, so I'm going to try and see them before the end of the year, and then the Dead South are touring as well. So, but they're not touring till next year. So I'm going to get tickets for them as well. So that's what I've been doing, and thinking, well, if everything's going to open up, I might as well go and try and do stuff that I enjoy again, rather than just sitting in and watching telly. Which I like sitting in and watching telly as much as the next man, but when you have to, you sort of get to a point you just want to go out. Yeah,
I think that's kind of what's been happening. Is when you get told to do it, you don't want to do it.
No, exactly. Cabin fever, isn't it?
Yeah, it's when you've got to go to work and everything like that, you don't get the opportunity to do it. You're like, well, I actually do rather enjoy sitting at home watching TV and stuff like that. So it's one of those weird ones.
Yeah, and then yeah.
No, go on. What was you going to say, mate?
Correct. No, I was just saying, then we were, I don't know, we'll all go out, and after about 2 weeks of going out, we'll just be sitting at home watching telly again.
Yeah.
Just like us, I've been out now, I'll just do what I did before lockdown, which was the same, nothing really.
Right. I do have one of the Deans in at the moment. I have to be honest with you, it's going to be a bit confusing, as I say, with the names. You'll have to let me know which Dean I've actually had come in. I'm now unmuted. There we go. I'm waiting on which Dean have we got?
Cooper.
Hey. It gets a bit confusing sometimes with the names and stuff like that. And obviously, you're both called Dean. It's a bit. We should that one out. How have you been doing, mate? I know you've been busy. Obviously, the last few weeks or so, starting up your own motivational speaking. How's that been going for you?
Yeah, like I say, busy. That's really kicked off. I knew how important it was for experience myself, but the fact that it's obviously through lockdown has just shown how important mental health is to people. It's gone absolutely off the chain.
I think that's been kind of the thing that we've spoke about it. Darren have spoken about it. It's something that is not kind of brought to people's attention too much, but I think the lockdown maybe has probably helped with it to get people to start talking and to start expressing how they feel instead of just bottling up and kind of dealing with it. And obviously with what you're doing, that's a massive, massive thing. Have you found that is it helped you quite a bit as well? With other people coming and talking to you?
I mean, like you say, I think it's took something like a serious situation like coronavirus and the lockdowns for people to actually realise how much they actually need some support and help. and it has opened up people a bit to express it. I think there's still a lot more that can be done for people to open up more, and they will do in their own time. But it's just about obviously getting out there that it's okay now, especially these times, to really open up about how you feel, and obviously especially with men, without sounding too sexist, men are always brought up to shield their emotions. You've got to man up and be there for everyone else, and they don't give themselves enough time for their own head and their own peace of mind and thought processes. And I say it's tough for females as well, and I get that, and it's just as tough, if not more so, with some of the other emotions they're going through, especially if like through pregnancy and lockdown, and that's got to be a real kick, especially with mental health on top of that. So like fair play for all them people going through it and who've gone through it and coming out the other side.
Yeah, it's with, as I say, not harping on too much about myself because you will make it about me, but it's with even personally myself, it's tough, not just through lockdown, but as you say, not being sexist, being a man and being the type of person I am. People look at me and go, you know, he's a big bloke, you know, you kind of have that what is it, that I can't think of the word, sorry, perception. Someone has that perception of me that, you know, I should just, you know, deal with it. I'm tough enough to deal with it. But I've many times, I still have it now. The issues that I have now is more to do with kind of my health side of it. And if I didn't have people to talk to, you know, it probably would get me down a lot more. You know, I've been quite lucky that the community we have around football, I will use, because it is a massive part, and this is what I've turned around and said before. The football community we have, especially locally, this is the reason why I wanted you to come on, Dean, is a massive help. You know, the other shows that are out and stuff like that, the Suffolk Non-League show, I know we've spoken on there before. That's been a massive help for people. And that's obviously helped you get your word out there as well, and giving you a bit of a stepping stone as well. So with not having football, that's been a massive part as well, I think. You know, do you agree with that? You know, not having that social side.
Yeah, like I say, with obviously there's shows out there, and like yourself this evening, that's just obviously having that platform to express and say, like, there is help out there, and there is people willing to listen and do things they can to help anyone in a situation that needs it. With football, I don't think obviously those within football can understand and know how deep it goes with the love of football and the family side of it.
Yeah.
And anyone across those platforms within football will know that it's the biggest support network there, but there's still not enough people speaking up to receive that support.
Yeah.
But it's just there to be tapped into. So for me, it's about opening it up within football or any sport or any other way in general in life.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I say, the shows out there and the local scene is huge and full of love, and it's just there, but we need to tap into it.
Yeah. I will bring Darren in. Darren, as I say, we've spoken a little bit, and obviously we try and have a laugh and a joke as much as possible, but obviously it's quite a very serious subject. I'll get your kind of opinion on kind of how you feel about it, and you know, has there been any issues or problems yourself, or have you known anyone that's had any issues or problems or anything like that?
Yeah, no. Yeah, sorry, dude. No, I'm having a technical issue. DPART, it won't. He's saying he's got to plug his headset in, and but his headset's plugged in. So, Yeah, he's having trouble getting into the actual Podbean thing. So yeah, right. Yeah, I'll deal with that in a sec. Yeah. No, I've had my issues with sort of depression and anxiety for a few years, really, just on and off. It's like you're saying, it is hard because being a man, it's difficult to open up and just and be able to speak to someone. You don't want to sort of show weakness, and you have good mates, and they'll be happy to talk to you, and they won't judge you. But when you're in that mindset, you don't think like that. You can't even bring yourself to sort of talk to those people. Um, and that's the trouble with the situation. It is getting the message out there that it is okay, and that people will listen and people will sort of talk to you.
Yeah.
But you just need to sort of put yourself out there and let them know. Because my biggest issue is I was putting a brave face on everything. So I'd be out in public and I'd be happy and laughing and joking and that, and then I'd get home and I'd just sit there and that's it. Just want to fucking die, basically. You couldn't sort of even stand being with yourself. So yeah, I think a lot of people do that. They will put the brave face on it, and they just need to know that it is okay, and you just need to talk to people sometimes, really.
See, my problem always was mates about it, because I know it sounds bad, but I always thought that they might take the piss. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, because you have that banter and stuff like that. I was always worried that, if I turned around and said, do you know what? The other night I sat there and I was actually that bad that I just sat there in a bath crying. Which I have done, and it didn't feel that I could go and speak to someone and
man up.
But that's the thing.
Do you know what I mean? That's it, isn't it? Yeah, man up. I wish I could. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Obviously, because a lot of mine is, and I say, Dean, you'll agree as well. As to say, a lot of my mates that I have he's football based. They're all banter based and stuff like that. And you get people that will take the mick out of you and stuff like that. And I was always worried that was going to be the case. I don't know if either of you two, felt the same. And
I got to the point where I don't really. It takes a lot of time to get to a point where you can open up and you've got to feel comfortable with it. But until you do so, you're not going to get to that point. But within the local football scene, I just see it as they're the mates and we have banter, and they'll tell you to man up and sort yourself out and blah blah blah. But I'd hope to think, and when I got to a point, is when I was actually being serious about how I felt. If they actually didn't take me seriously, then I took a step back and I'm saying to myself, like, do I need to associate myself with these people?
Yeah.
Are they right for me at this time in life for what I'm struggling with? Do I surround myself around that negativity? No. So I'll walk away and I'll go and find the support and help from someone who actually is going to be there, because they're the true people. They're your real friends. That's when you can really fully understand who has got my back, and when I am down, who I can actually turn to. And that's huge.
And to be honest, and more, I may be wrong, but it's usually generally probably a handful of people, maybe. I've kind of found that there's been a handful of people that will truly give me a text and ask me if I'm okay, or have a text conversation that might not be about football, it might not be about anything else. It's just generally asking if each other is okay. And that's all it takes sometimes, I think.
Basically, right. Obviously, I can't go into details because of the confidentiality side of things with this whole Zoom things I'm doing.
Yeah.
But there's a lad come on there, not very old, in the local football scene, and just from having one Zoom call, it's basically helped him change. And it's something very simple that we worked on, and it's now basically made him feel a lot happier within himself and more comfortable within himself to go and do the things or the certain thing he wanted to do that he couldn't.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying. Like, it was something so simple that he couldn't even think of himself that I pointed out through experience and knowing.
Yeah.
That has literally switched that switch. So that's how easy it is for someone just to open up. It was something that he thought was going to be a major issue, but actually wasn't. It was something very, very simple. And there's a lot of people out there, that's all they need.
I know you just touched on, obviously, about a young person. I think, especially with everything that's going on at the moment, there's a lot of young lads, young men that are probably going through it that we probably kind of don't realise, even at like a kind of a school age, because of everything that's gone on. It's probably put a lot more pressure on, especially when it comes to GCSEs and stuff like that. You know, I'm hoping that, obviously, getting people to kind of listen to this and stuff like that, obviously, and with what you're doing, Dean, as well, it's going to kind of spread the word and, as I say, let people know that it is okay to talk and it is okay to and speak to someone. Can I just ask you to kind of go through a little bit of what you do, like regarding your Zoom sessions and stuff like that, so people can understand it and they can
of course
come and speak if they want to do it?
Well, basically what it was, it started through pretty much when lockdown sort of come into play. Myself personally, I still suffer now with mine's a lifetime illness. I'll never get rid of it. It's bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
So I've been through. I was diagnosed in 2001, so I've been through CBT, which is cognitive behaviour therapy, and loads of different things. So I can understand it, and it took time. So what I'm doing now through lockdown is, especially on, like, say, the Suffolk non-league, where I opened up about it, it just took off from there. So I thought it's now time to give back. So what I'm doing is, through my experience and my learning and the processes I've gone through, is I'm offering free Zoom classes for 30 to 45 minutes. And just, it's all confidential. So if anyone want to open up who wouldn't normally open up, no matter how big or small, get in contact with me and I'll give you some techniques and processes, and we'll do catch-ups and stuff and just help people along the way. Just that early starting point so they could actually understand it themselves. Because that's the main thing. People with mental health, if they're suffering, will suffer even more because they don't know how to deal with it or what to do with it. So I'm giving them little techniques and little pointers, basically, of where to firstly understand how they're feeling and why they're feeling that way, and then how to not feel that way. So the Zoom classes are there, and I'll be continuing to do so until I help as many people as possible.
Can also people obviously contact you where obviously they don't have to go through Zoom, because there may be a few people that maybe kind of want to talk, but maybe kind of self-anonymous as well?
Yeah, but basically they can contact me on, all they've got to do is contact me on Twitter, which is Dean Coop, I think. And LinkedIn I'm on, which is obviously just Dean Cooper, and that's got all of my stuff on there about motivational and what I could actually cater for. And so I've got all my email address, everything, and then when they contact me directly through that, I'll then release obviously my number, so if they want to just have a call on the telephone, even if they don't want to speak and they feel more comfortable just typing, we can do it through WhatsApp or email, or you've obviously, like I say, got the Zoom, or you can do it through, I don't know, FaceTime, whatever they want to do. Anyway they want to communicate, I'm here.
No, that's good. I think there's so many people out there that I believe that are probably in that mindset where they're probably at that point where they do need to talk to someone, but as I say, they kind of stop themselves because they maybe think that, no one understands, I want to know how I feel and stuff like that. And I'll be honest, and you'll probably agree, it's how people are going to feel. People are going to feel that no one else is going to know. No one knows how I feel, or what I've been through and stuff like that. But we
absolutely. I mean, the best thing about this is it's throughout lockdown. It's free.
Yeah.
Where a lot of other services you go to will charge you quite a lot.
Mm.
This is free, so it's confidential and it's free. So no matter what you say to me, whatever you want to speak about, no matter how big or small, it won't cost you a penny. So that's the starting point. And I feel a lot of people who want help try and seek it, even if you go through doctors and other bits and pieces, it'll eventually charge you.
Yeah.
And I think that's wrong. And like I say, especially throughout lockdown with people being furloughed, but the money's less, they can't afford these services. I was on BBC Radio Suffolk last weekend talking about, obviously, what I'm offering. And literally, while I was still on that call, live on the radio, I had 3 or 4 people contact me because they've gone through and trying to get help for months and months and months with nothing because they're so slow. And then literally it's bang, they've got instant access and here I am.
I think that's the other thing as well with like NHS and stuff like that. Once again, I'm going to use myself as an example. I've had an issue with my weight. It gets me down. It makes me feel like crap, and it's been an issue for quite a while. Basically, since I stopped playing football. And
the thing is, Alex, I can with you, and I can help you within one session because I've known you for so many years. Firstly, so I know how you are.
Yeah.
And the whole weight issue will come once you sort your mind out. Your weight issue is not through overeating and all this sort of stuff. Well, it is, but if your mind ain't right, you're never going to get that right.
I know where it stems from. I know where it comes from, and it's been, as I say, I touched on it a little bit when I'd done the other podcast on my own. I touched a little bit on it about obviously when I was younger and stuff like that, and issues that I've been through, and a lot of it is in my head. I know it is.
The thing is, Alex, that's the things from obviously your youth, which obviously you've partly gone into and whatever, is a lot of us, and not just you, a lot of other people will think, you've dealt with it or you've done enough with it. But deep down, that's always going to be there. But what I can help you with is understanding that it's always going to be there, but there's a different way of going around it.
Yeah.
Without avoiding it. So you know it's there, but obviously you've got different situations and different feelings and thoughts towards certain triggers, which I can help you change, which will make you think a different way about it, which will then turn into a positive and then help you with all your other bits and pieces.
Yeah, I've just had a comment actually from my other half, and it says, I'm a carer and I go to a lady with mental health issues and there is no help for her. They leave her to it. So sad. Well done to you, Dean. And this is to say what you were touching on there about obviously giving people the opportunity to be able to come to them and not be kind of left to kind of deal with the issue themselves, because as you turn around and say, if they get left to deal with it, it's going to make it worse. It's just going to get on top of them even more. And
absolutely, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like the charities out there and the NHS are doing a fantastic job in everything they do. I get it.
Yeah.
But with the whole slow process of mental health, because they are overwhelmed, the people who need it more so don't get it quick enough. So they go into an even darker spiral as such, and then they lose faith in the system. So then they'll go, actually, when it is available, I don't want it now.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's too late. So the message to your missus is, if that lady or gentleman wants to get in contact with me, then please do so.
Yeah. I'll say pass that on to Seth. She's heard herself. She'll she'll be able to sort that out. Darren, just is there an update on DPART? Is there still technical issues?
Yeah, we're still having technical issues. Yeah, it keeps kicking him off his Bluetooth every time he tries to connect. He can come into the room, but he can't sort of call to join.
Right.
So at the moment, I said we can reschedule and do a dry run to make sure everything's working beforehand.
No, that's fine. Can I want to bring you back in just more of a little bit of a kind of a professional side of it. No, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, obviously, to you, Dane. The reason why I'm asking Darren is because I know Darren worked in care, and I know that side of it gets dealt with a lot differently. I know obviously you can't go into too much about it, but obviously with what Dean has been telling us, do you kind of agree with the people kind of get left to deal with it, even in the care sector as well?
Well, I mean, the care sector I worked in was always difficult because I worked with guys with learning disabilities. So it was often hard to tell, between the behaviours and the conditions, what was sort of down to a disability or a condition, and what was down to sort of mental health sort of issues. You generally had to go through quite a lot before you got to the answer. But yeah, no, they're not going to want to do a lot, especially with someone with learning disabilities. They just want to give them tablets, don't they? It's too. How do you talk to someone who can't really communicate with you? Do you know what I mean? Counselling is going to be difficult doing Makaton.
Yeah.
But I even find it now, I don't think I've got a learning disability. It's very possible, but even now, I go to the doctor now, and the doctor's trying to fob you off now. I'm like, dude, I'm a 40-year-old man. You're not gonna blag me with that. You know what I mean? Oh well, if you do this, it's just shut up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
100%.
But yeah. So doctors are. They even the doctors don't really understand it too much either. You have to get a good doctor. But yeah, as regards to that, being in care, it was always hard to tell, to be honest. So,
see, I was in the other part of it where I was actually in the kind of the system, as they call it. So I was in a place called a therapeutic community, which obviously is based around dealing with issues and therapy and stuff like that. But I still, even then, because I lived there, because it didn't feel like, I don't know, it didn't feel like I was coming away from anything. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't. I think speaking to someone separately, you kind of take your mind away, if you know what I mean. This is the reason why I think football is a great thing, because for 90 minutes on a Saturday or a Sunday or whenever, you're not thinking about that stuff, and when I was in the system, and then that's all I did was play football, because then I didn't have to think about it. But then when I did have to think about it, it didn't feel right, because I was living there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Where it wasn't separated. There was no separation. There was no. It's difficult to explain.
It's just a constant reminder, isn't it?
Yeah. It's
like a vicious circle.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. The place that I was at may have worked for other people, and it probably did work for me to a certain extent. I wasn't. Well, I don't know. I probably was still a bit of a dickhead when I came out, but I probably wasn't as much. You're
still a bit of a dickhead now, Al.
Someone has to be.
Well, yeah.
But there's got to be certain ways that things work for certain people. It's not all gonna be generic. It's not all gonna be the same. It's gonna be different things for different people.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I advise people so much to talk. It doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter how big you are, doesn't matter if you're male, female, doesn't matter. if you've got an issue and it's affecting you that much,
Yeah.
you've got someone there. You've got, you know, especially in the local area at the moment, we've got Dean that is willing to listen. You know, and I think that's great. You know, I'm going to go on to kind of the other aspects. I know, obviously, he hasn't been able to join us, but with what DPART's doing, the music that he does isn't, what did we call it? Black.
It's just
whatever.
it's not I was going to shank you blood rap, is it? It's like it's meaningful actually. Do you know what I mean? Too much rap music you listen to and you just sort of like, well, half of these kids saying it aren't living the life they're talking about. And yeah, the ones that are shouldn't really be singing about it. But yeah, DPART, he's got a bit of well, just a brilliant style. Like I say, stuff surrounding mental health and the trouble he's had. And the way he sort of deals with it, and I find it sort of, it can be quite inspirational, some of it. So
that's the thing, like you say, with the music side of things. Like, music's a healer in itself, but when you got someone expressing pure emotion and feelings through experience of their song, like just that alone, someone listening to that can relate and then feel a certain way, and then, like I said, there's then people might actually be able to deal with it themselves without actually going to seek any help. Like, just things like that is massive. I'm a massive fan of music. Music is fantastic, and anyone who can put their own feelings, emotions, and thoughts into a song and actually feel it is absolute. That's the best feeling you'll ever feel.
I think with
being able to write it down.
Yeah. See, that's the other thing as well. You know, if you can find something to express how you feel in another way, to kind of, you can either do it by speaking to someone, or, as I say, with DPART, he does it with his music. And I advise people to go on Spotify and listen to his music, and there will be people out there that will relate to it.
100%. 100%.
There can be other ways as well that you're able to express how you're feeling. As I say, writing it down, drawing, art. Art used to be a good way as well, I think.
One of the best ways I ever learned and how I expressed my feelings, and was through poetry. I'm like, not, you know me, Alex. Yeah, not many people would put me down as a like doing poetry, but I can reel off some worldies.
Yeah.
But it all comes from like the guy's music. It all comes from within. So it just, you don't even have, like, when you're writing it, you don't even have to like say, it's not a case of just like the other guy singing. It comes from the head and it's just there off the cuff. Yeah. Same with if you can write it down as well. Oh mate, it's like I say, it helps you firstly yourself, and then you'll be able to express it wherever, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get. Anyone who can sort of write songs, write poetry. Yeah, I have massive respect for him. But it is, like you say, it is a good way of getting your thoughts and feelings down. And even if you just write them for yourself and nobody ever reads them, at least you've had a chance to get that out of your system yourself. Yeah. So
definitely.
And that's what it's all about. It's getting, it's uncorking that bottle. It's taking the lid off that pressure cooker, because, going back to myself, I used to be an angry person, because I don't want people to know how I felt, and you kind of, you just push it back down, you push it back down. And when you get like that, that's when, and you start having people that don't want to be around you because of the way that you're being, the way that you're acting out. I'm not being funny. Darren, you've known me a fair few years. Dean, you've known me a fair few years. Darren knew me obviously before I kind of moved down to Ipswich. I think some of the things that I've done then, I was a dickhead. I didn't think. I was quite selfish, because all I was worried about was kind of myself, because that's what I felt. I felt I had to do it.
Yeah, you find that with depression, though. With depression, it is very selfish. It is all about you, but you can't get out of that mindset when you're in that mindset.
Yeah.
You know, you think, you know, why is everything against me? You know, what have I done wrong? What's wrong with me? You know, and it is very selfish. But you know, when you're in that mindset, you can't see past you know, can't see through the trees.
Mm.
You're just sort of stuck in your own head, really.
Yeah.
So yeah. And hey, everyone does stupid things. I could.
It's, you know, I think you, as I say, all three of us have got children, and you know, you don't. I sit there and I think, you know, I'm not going to talk about it too much because it's not my place to do it. But my three stepdaughters have gone through hell, to be honest. You know, and I don't want them feeling how I felt. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? I get exactly the same with my kids. Yeah, I've had Lily's had a couple of liver issues. I don't really say names, should I? My eldest has had a couple of issues recently, sort of regarding bullying and that. And I was bullied at primary school, and it was horrible. And then Brooks, the middle one's had a couple. Well, Brooks had a couple of some issues like last week or so as well. And it's horrible. You're just sitting there. And you do anything you can to protect them from not having to feel that. But you know, ultimately they're gonna have to feel that. You know, and it's horrible because you can't protect them from everything you still want to. But yeah, like you're saying, it's because you know how you felt then. So you knew when you was at school and those things were happening, you knew how it felt. You knew how alone you felt. You knew how lonely and how scared you felt. You know, and that's why you'd hate the thought of anyone feeling like that, let alone your kids. You know, so it's that side of it.
Yeah. Have you obviously with the bipolar that you have, is that something obviously it's been quite a fear for yourself, Dean?
Sorry, what was that, mate?
With obviously with kids and stuff like that, is it something that obviously you spoke to them about, or are they not too much aware of it at the moment?
No, I've got a child who's 13, so he's like now at that age where he can understand most things.
Yeah.
But I think because I was diagnosed in 2001, obviously way before he was born.
Yeah.
Like he's sort of like grown up knowing that it's managed, so he didn't really know any different.
Yeah.
So I've never really had to explain it to him, which is a blessing. But like I say, as he gets older and he understands even more so, then that's a conversation I'll have with him and be open about. So, and obviously the little one is well, he'll never really know. So
it's because that's the other thing as well, and I think when we do become parents, that's the other time of it where once again we've got to be that strong person. We've got to be that person that just deals with it. And you know, I don't know if you can see, but I've just asked Laura if I can talk about obviously the situation that Laura and the girls went through. A few years ago now, Laura's ex, well, still her husband, passed away suddenly. They weren't together, but obviously he's a massive part. They've got 3 children together, so a massive part of her life. And obviously the children's dad, and all 3 of them kind of deal with it in a different way, and will have a different perception of it. It's slightly difficult for my situation, obviously being a stepdad. I can talk to my eldest stepdaughter. She's very open. My middle stepdaughter is very, very, very closed up about it, and she was at the age where her dad is superhero. Nothing should happen to her dad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the youngest, she was very, very young, so she doesn't really understand. I know that my oldest has counselling, and she's quite open about that with us, which I think is brilliant.
Yeah, definitely.
And Laura's just put into the chat that so Millie's stepchild, she's very angry, and she is, because of, I went through it. When my mum passed away when I was 18 months old, and you're angry because you're angry with the world, because you're angry that something's happened you couldn't control.
Well, yeah, someone's taken that person away from you, and there's no answer. You know, it's just like that's that. It's so final, isn't it? So there's it's so hard to get an answer for it, or a reason, or a why. You know, you can't get over it, can you? It does just keep you angry.
It's
tough. Like I say, Alex, they're all different ages as well, so they're all at different emotional and levels of understanding. So, I mean, obviously, totally different. Obviously, that's a death, and it's a very raw feeling. But when my parents divorced when I was 9, there was my older sister, me as the middle, and my younger brother, who took that divorce totally different. They didn't. Yeah. It's not like they didn't care; they did, but I took it the hardest. So I was the one that was angry and had to deal with that. So many different levels and it must be tough, obviously, like say yourself and your missus, because there's 3 different levels you've got to understand and try and deal with. But it's also a healing and obviously a grieving process they've still got to go through for probably obviously some time, and they'll get there with the support they're getting. So
it's, as I say, Laura's just put in see she was it was her birthday, and Dad was there, and it was early hours of the morning the next day that he passed away. So she has that.
Wow.
Yeah. Has that.
Link.
It's, and you know what? It's the simple things sometimes that you kind of tend to forget that is a massive thing for someone else. We were sorting the garden out the other day, and we got rid of our shed, and we got rid of the contents in there, and we had some bikes in there that we needed to get rid of, and we got rid of them. And it was we managed to pick it up, and we managed to speak to her about it, but her bike was in there. Her dad got that bike for her for her birthday.
Yeah.
And it's to anyone else getting rid of a bike, that it wouldn't click. But her, it's a massive thing. And that must be across the board as well. There's little things that people will relate to in a much stronger way than what, say, for instance, I would, or what you two would. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I said, it must be tough because she's got that link within. It's meant to be a happy time because it's my birthday, but I've also got that sad side because obviously my dad. That's a very tough one to. That's a very big bag of emotions, isn't it?
Yeah. And then on the other aspect, and she probably will punch me for talking about it when I go downstairs later, but I will mention Laura as well. She's very much, I've got to get on with it. I've got to deal with it. I've got to, she's very much, when he did pass away, she was very upset. She grieved, but then she was like, I've got to deal with it now. I've got to deal with it because of my kids. And I understand it, because that's a mother's instinct. A mother's instinct is to do that.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I still think that, and I think a lot of it, I know we talk about men and that men are not talking about it as much, but I think there's a lot of women that probably kind of just man up and get on with it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I suppose they condition themselves to their position, but then you ultimately end up just putting all your problems to one side, and then they hit you sort of tenfold a little while later down the line.
Yeah.
Because you sort of put yourself on this mission where you're just like, concentrate on the kids, and need to sort them, and sort them, and sort them. But ultimately, if it isn't dealt with, then it will come back and bite you on the bottom.
Yeah. So one thing I did want to ask, Dean, with yourself, have you found that there's not enough help out there, or there's not the right help out there? Is that one of the reasons why you've gone down this route of doing what you're doing?
I think there's help out there. There's always been help out there, but I think due to the current situation, and obviously with the whole lockdown over the last year and a bit, I think, and obviously people seeking help more so, it's become very strainful on those places and people, which was already hard to get into anyway because there wasn't enough resources. So it's going to be mental health. It's going to be a big strain once this lockdown, once the corona is gone from hospitals as such, and it's more relaxed in a way and easier managed. Then the next big thing is going to be mental health. There's going to be a massive influx. But to the question itself, yes, there is help there, but as previous years have explained, there's not enough, but quick enough.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are probably on waiting lists for probably a year and sometimes more, which by then it's too late.
That is the thing. I think with something like that, there can't. Not that there can't, because there is, but there shouldn't be waiting. I just don't think that is the right way. You know.
How I look at it is this. Go on.
No, I was just saying, when you contact the IAP team, it works on a point system. So you fill out your forms, and basically you get scored on your answers. If you score below a certain score, then you'll get contacted sort of fairly quickly. They're contacting me in a week or 2 weeks. But if you score high enough, then they could leave you for months. So but they're absolutely snowed under, and it's only a problem that's getting worse, and it's not, not too many people are going into mental health as a sort of trade, as it were. So it's going to be more demand on the same amount of people. So it's not looking good, if I'm honest.
No, absolutely.
It's, as I say, I think the government needs to kind of look into not pumping more money into it, because I don't think money's really kind of the situation. But I think, if
you make a job more desirable, people are more likely to do it, aren't they?
Yeah, I know.
What I don't look at, Alex, is the fact that, like you said a minute ago, about when you want help, it should be there.
Yeah,
absolutely, and I totally agree with it. And it's just frustrating to think, like, you need that help now, and it should be available. But at what stage are they going to invest more into that to get the results at the other end?
I think I think what needs to happen is doing stuff like this. I think doing podcasts, doing shows, I think maybe the broadcasting agencies should try to kind of get into it a little bit more and show people that, and show the nation that this is a big thing. I'm not gonna put statistics, because I don't know them, but I know that a massive cause of death in males is suicide, and this is an issue that needs to be addressed. It needs to be sorted. It's, people say the mind is a very complex thing, right? Okay, if it's complex, then it needs people to help sort it out.
Yeah, but on the other hand, the mind is also a very simple thing.
Yeah.
That some people who might have a simple issue mentally, which can be resolved very quickly, who don't receive the help quick enough, then becomes deeper, darker, and then even harder to sort.
Yeah.
Like you think about it, for instance, I said it on the radio the other week, where if you've got a heart issue, you literally take it to the hospital and sorted. Yeah. If you've got a wound or something, you're taken up there, stitched up. If you've got a broken bone, you get x-rayed and you're in and out within an hour or two.
Yeah.
But where's the help for the mind, which is one of the most important things?
Yeah.
To a person's body functioning.
Yeah.
That's scary.
The only time you get help straight away is when you've had a breakdown, and then you get sectioned.
Exactly.
Generally, so well, then it's far too late, isn't it? If you could have been stopped a lot earlier.
But even when it comes to that, it takes a lot for that to happen.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. The journey to get to there it's a long journey. There's opportunities to stop it and intervene in the meantime. If they could get the work, get the people to see them quick enough.
I know, and as well, there's a lot of places that are kind of either closing down or being shrunk down that are there to help people. In Ipswich, obviously, we had St Clement's, which was a big part. Everyone knew of St Clement's and the things that they used to deal with there. But obviously, that got shrunk down, and there's only, I think, maybe 2 or 3 buildings now, I think, up there. It's all been knocked down and houses have been put on it, and that shouldn't be happening. That's really, that to me, that shouldn't be happening. It should be, I think, especially now coming out of lockdown.
It's a contradiction in the message, isn't it? They're making a big deal about mental health and how mental health is important, but they're reducing the funding for the mental health sector. They're sort of contradicting the message. It's either important or it isn't important. It can't be, oh, well, it's important enough for you lot to talk about it, but we're just going to take the money away.
Yeah.
That can't really happen. I think the big teller will be there's a mental health week coming up in May. And the big teller will be how seriously that's taken. What they air on telly and things like that, where they take it seriously and put some proper, meaningful, programs on telly of people who have had issues, genuinely talking about their problems. If that just comes and goes without, any real fuss, then that it's just a message that they're just pumping out there.
Yeah.
And then it's down to, like you say, people like us and yourself, Dean, going out there and doing work with these people, because the powers that be don't seem to want to deal with it, to be honest.
I just wanted to say, Dean's had to go. He's just left the chat, but it to have someone like Dean doing what he's doing, and doing it off his own back, and obviously with his own experience, to me, and hopefully you agree, Darren, as well, that we need kind of more people out there doing that. Really,
yeah, definitely. Like you say, the fact is he's taken his experiences and he's bipolar, and I've seen a lot of people with bipolar, just disappear into oblivion and just sit behind a telly screen on their meds and get through the days, whereas he's taken it and gone, well, no, actually, I can do something with this. And it's always easier talking to someone who's experienced it or who understands mental health and things like that. And he's an ideal bloke to do it, because he's like I say, he got diagnosed in 2001. It's a long time ago. So he's had to live with it and manage with it, and he's an ideal person to sort of go out and speak to people and just tell them that you can do something with it. It's not the end of the world just because you've got mental health issues. Like, he's gone and taken it, put it to good use. So
yeah, and I think, and that is the big part of it, because obviously he's had the issues himself. We'll go back to, obviously, with what the things that I've been through. I haven't been through anything like that, and I don't really understand too much. So it's actually kind of good that Dean's able to come on. He's able to talk about what he's been through, because then that helps me understand. Because I think that comes into a lot of it, where people may not understand.
That's a lot of it. A lot of it is people who have never had to suffer any sort of mental health are very, I don't want to say ignorant, are very ignorant to it. I know people who don't believe mental health exists. Don't exist, so it's all in your head. Exactly. Yeah, it is all in my head. Yeah. So you've answered my question for me, thanks. So, So yeah, there is still a lot of ignorance about it, and there's a very selfish mentality these days. Everyone, there's an awful lot. A lot of society now is everyone's out for themselves, and that isn't my problem, so it's not a problem.
Yeah.
Well, no, because if that problem, I'm not saying you've got to deal with it personally, but if that problem isn't sorted, then it becomes a bigger problem, and then it becomes everyone's problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that side of things as well. So again, it's about breaking down the stigma. But it really is. There still is a stigma. But there will always be a stigma with mental health, just like there's always, there's still a stigma with, racism and things like that. There's still racist people in the world. There's still, unfortunately, it's one of the things with stigma. But at least we can get it to a point where it's more, again, more understood.
Yeah.
Really, people ain't got to know the ins and outs. They've just got to know that.
But this is
nice
where,
to someone.
But this is where I sat down and I turned around and said earlier that, more it needs to be publicised more. I'll sit there and you'll watch the TV and you'll see an advert, and please, if anyone's listening, do not take this as a disrespect or anything like that, but you will see advert for more well-known either diseases or illnesses, cancer, strokes. Obviously we've had loads of stuff being pumped in with COVID at the moment, where we're getting adverts about COVID.
The fashionable ones. There used to be adverts for AIDS. For AIDS, Al. There ain't adverts for AIDS anymore, is there? It's not popular anymore. It's not popular. I don't like it anymore. So
I don't see adverts for someone. Literally, all you've got to do is you've got to have someone stand there and turn around and say, it is okay to talk. It is okay to talk. Go and talk to someone. It's okay to ask someone if they're okay. You sit there and turn around and go, well, I'm not going to ask my mate if he's okay or not. He's all right. He's fine. Or she's fine. She's all right. She's fine. Oh, they'll tell you. And sometimes that text, right, that text message from someone that is close to you, someone who is either part of your family, your friends, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, your wife, whatever, that one text could mean so much. And on a personal note, that has pulled me out of a dark hole before, where I've had a text off of someone and I've gone, do you know what? Someone actually does care about me. Someone thinking about me, and it means so much. So whoever's listening to this, don't feel that we're sitting here trying to teach you how to suck eggs or anything like that and tell you what to do. But in some ways we are. Because it could help.
We're just talking about things that we've experienced ourselves that have been nice. It's like you say, when you're sitting there and all you can think about is how bad things are going, and then like you say, you just get a message, oh mate, how's it going? I ain't spoke to you in a while. And I'm like, oh fucking hell. And then like you say, it's enough to take your mind off. You can get to that conversation. Yeah, you're not exactly going to open your heart and go, oh, actually, I'm shit, I feel good. But that little bit of conversation is that interaction. Again, it makes you don't feel so worthless. You think, oh, I'm not that fucking bad. Someone likes me.
Yeah. The thing that I've kind of struggled with is I don't think I've struggled with talking. I don't think I've ever struggled with talking to people. I don't think I've ever struggled expressing how I feel. The thing that I've massively struggled is that I'm very good at giving advice, very good at speaking to people, listening to people and stuff like that. But it's actually taking my own advice.
I'm exactly the same.
Taking my own advice. And you know what?
Yeah.
Laura will sit there all day long and she will agree with that. She will sit there and turn around and go, do you know what? You tell everyone else what to bloody do, but you don't take note yourself. You won't sit there and turn around to yourself and turn around and go, right, Alex, you need to sort yourself out. You need to do this, and this. But I'm very good at telling other people to do it.
No, of course, it's easy to help other people with their problems. It's not so easy to deal with your own.
it's, and I think that's where having people like Dean is a massive thing to have, because he's someone that is gonna he's gonna listen. So I've you know, people are probably sitting there saying, "Oh, you keep going on about it all the time," right? But I will, because what he's doing is huge. It is huge, and the things that DPART is doing is huge, because they are expressing, they are dealing with issues that many people, as I say, brush under the carpet, don't want to deal with. But they're doing it in two different ways.
Yeah, you can believe it. You can believe it, and you can respect it and understand it, because they're talking from their own experiences. They've been through it, and they've done it. You know, DPART's music. You know, his stuff's about his own experiences and the way he's felt. You know, what Dean's doing, it's all drawn from his own experiences. So, you know, people who are feeling that way, you know, you can listen to it and listen to Dean speak and whatever, and it's like, well, these guys have been there.
Yeah.
You know, they've experienced it, and I do find with DPART, like songs that you listen to his music, and like lines will come out, and you'll be like, "Oh my god, I felt like that." You know what I mean? I feel like that. Like, yeah, and it's sort of it blows you away, because at times you sort of feel like you are the only person that feels like that, but yeah, you're obviously not. So
it's shown tonight. It's shown tonight because obviously, unfortunately, DPART couldn't be on, and we will try and sort something out where we're able to get him on, and we'll talk about. Obviously, I know I think it's May, Mental Health Week is coming up.
Yeah.
You know,
he said he's happy to come on. He was gutted. He was he just kept kicking him off his bloody.
We'll try and sort something out to get him on and have a chat, and I will look at getting Dean Cooper back on again.
Definitely.
See how he's getting on with what he's been doing and stuff like that, and we'll try and get him back on. It's something that I'm always going to be talking about. It's something that I will always try and get across to people and stuff like that. Whichever way I do it, whether it's through a podcast, whether it's through radio, whether it's through having a look at my ugly mug talking about it, I will always kind of discuss it, because it, as I say, I don't know the actual statistics and stuff like that, but it is mental health and suicide in men is very high, and you don't want that. I don't want to feel that we've spoke about this and I've just spoke about it once or twice and just left it there. It's something that I will keep going on about and keep talking to people and show people that you can be 6 foot tall, built like I wouldn't say a brick shit house, but
brick shit house. Go on, you just said it.
More of a for you. But you can be like that and not be okay, and not be what you're kind of expected to be. So if I feel like that, how many others out there feel like that?
Yeah.
You know, I'm lucky. I have a great partner. You know, she's not my wife yet. Fiance. She's my fiance.
A fiance.
Fiance. You know, I have a great fiance who is, in some ways, because we are very chalk and cheese, where I'll turn around and sometimes that is actually good, because sometimes she will turn around and say, "Alex, man up." You know, there's worse things that are going on. And I know we've turned around and said it, and you may feel that there's not worse things going on, but sometimes that has helped to know that.
Yeah, sometimes perspective's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've got a shit on about something really menial, and then someone goes, you know, there's real problems in the world. Yeah. I mean, and it comes down to relevance.
Yeah.
You know, I find this what's relevant. It's like when you say to a teenager, like, "Oh, you don't know what problems are," but those problems are relevant to them.
Yeah.
They just don't know any different at the time.
That's what mental health is. You don't know any different at the time. At that time, right?
You're only drawing from the experiences you've had up till then, aren't you? So,
you know, at that time, you know, it could be anything. Like a breakup. Everyone's gone through a breakup, but to that person at that specific moment, no other person in this world has gone through a breakup apart from you.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where
the old Coldplay records come out.
Yeah.
The only time you listen to Coldplay.
Ice cream comes out. Sorry, see, look, straight onto food. I'll just start talking about food again.
But no. What we say, perspective is good. Sometimes, especially if it's like a silly one, someone goes, "Hey, fucking hell, sort it out." You know what I mean? And we've got to decide what we're having. Well, I don't care what you're thinking about. We've got to decide what we've got for dinner tonight. That's the most important decision. There's nothing else in your head compares to what are we having for dinner tonight.
Do you know what? Right? That is the discussion we have every day. You know, what do you
have dinner
tonight? What do you want?
You choose. No, you choose. Yeah.
But the other thing I will turn around and say, you know, fiancés, husbands, boyfriends, girlfriends, you should know everything about each other. That's the other thing I will sit there and turn around and say. Do not feel that you can't go to your partner or, you know, your boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, whatever, about stuff like this, because to be honest, they're going to be the best person that's going to know you and could possibly be the person that pulls you out of that as well. You know,
you'll get the classic situation where you go to them and go, "Yeah, I'm not right. I think I'm depressed, or I think I'm a bit anxious." And like, "Yeah, I know, just won't get to tell me." Like,
yeah, but it's true.
Like, oh shit! Like, yeah,
you know, and they will. You know, and that's the thing. I think a lot of it is down to fear. I think a lot of it is down to either fear of talking, or even kind of down to the fear of thinking about what the issue is. But I say there is people out there that can help. Dean being one of them. I will put, if you go onto my Twitter, if you go onto Facebook, Instagram, I'll literally put his LinkedIn details out on there. So if you do have any things that you want to talk about, Dean will be there. It doesn't matter whether you're from the local area or not. If you're from outside of Ipswich or even out of the country, if you want to phone him, that might be a bit expensive. So, I'll probably email him.
And I'll check the time difference as well. I don't think he seems like a real good bloke, but if you call him at 2 a.m, I don't think he's going to be the same bloke.
You know what? I actually don't. I don't think that he probably would mind if it's something that's going to help.
I suppose something like that. They give it up. Go crack on.
I'll let that happen. But no, I'll put his details on there. But the other thing is as well, if people want to talk, I'm here as well. Darren's here. You know, I think if DPART was on, I think maybe he would probably turn around and say the same. You know, do you know what? His
recent song, which is dropping at midnight. I think it's dropping at midnight tonight.
Is it?
Yeah, his new single dropping at midnight tonight. Yeah, and it's made up from conversations he's had where people have contacted him about issues they've had, and he's straight up like, if you message him and you've got an issue, he'll chat to you. Yeah, he's like I say, his latest song, his latest song, which it's really bad. I've forgotten what it's called, but I'm just about to bring it up on your phone because I'm a pro.
You know, I noticed that he put it up.
Oh, there we go. Of course, it's Don't Know How. I knew it was Don't Know How. Yeah,
Don't Know How. Yeah. Right, if he's listening,
so
he is gonna be messaging you now. Telling us, I cannot believe that you forgot the name of.
Can't believe you forgot the name of my new single. I knew what I was doing. I was playing it out a little bit, you know. Don't know how, but that's actually written from sort of various conversations he's had with people talking about sort of things they've had going on, and so it's a good song. It's really worth listening. I think it's on YouTube at the moment, but I think it's officially released midnight tonight. So get on Spotify and download the bastard.
Yeah. Do you know, I've been listening to his songs So I'd say properly, and this is me being honest, properly for the last week, obviously leading up to tonight. So I've been listening to it, and as you turned around and said before, there's just little bits that you just go, oh, I kind of relate to that a little bit, or I kind of I kind of felt like that a little bit. So I'd advise people to, as I say, go on to Spotify, and as I say, just type in DPART, which is DPART.
Yep.
Yeah.
Download the album while you're there as well. Download the album. It's a good album. I own the album. In fact, I downloaded it and I bought a hard copy. So that's how, you know what I mean? Yeah.
But yeah, get on there. Listen to some of the songs, and as I say, if anyone does want to chat to anyone, as I say, Dean Cooper, he is on LinkedIn, so we'll put the details up on my socials. As I say, me and Darren are always here to talk, and well, I'd say always. Don't, as I say, if you message about 2-3 o'clock in the morning, I will be asleep. I'm not going to be. I will be. I've just managed, after several years of doing night shifts, getting back on track with my sleeping. So I will definitely be asleep at 2 o'clock in the morning. But no, I say I'm on pretty much most social medias. I think, Darren, you're on Facebook and Instagram. Am I right?
Yeah, why not? I was on Twitter. I got rid of Twitter. I'm not having that.
Twitter's been more for football, to be honest. But
Twitter's that's for we'll do a ranty podcast and I'll explain why I don't do Twitter.
But yeah, if you ever want to chat, as I say, there is a few options there, and as I say, it's okay to.
There's an IAP team as well. The IAP team.
Yes.
That's all over the country. The IAP, they'll put you in touch with your local IAP team, and you can refer yourself. So if you're having issues like your doctor's not helping, you can refer yourself. It's just a quick questionnaire, and then they'll contact you and discuss what help they can give you or you can be given. So yeah.
But I think that the main thing, and Dean Cooper said it a couple of times. You know, it is okay not to be okay. You don't feel that it's wrong, because it's not. You know, you'll be surprised that there's many people that go through it, but there is also many people out there that are there to help as well. But yeah, I think it's been a good podcast. Obviously, unfortunately, we haven't been able to get DPART on, but we will sort another podcast out to get him on, because, as I say,
he's happy to come on. He's just couldn't get his headset to work tonight. So, but yeah, I said we'll get it set up and do a couple of dry runs to make sure we're all working. Then have on a couple of weeks.
Thank you, Doug. Well, thanks for joining me again, Darren.
No, it's a pleasure as always, Al.
We will be back next Wednesday, and we don't know what we're going to do yet. We may have a look at doing what Darren likes to call a ranty podcast, but we will. Yeah, we'll have a chat about that, and then I'll let people know about it. If you love controversy, that may be an episode for you.
It might be. I've got a lot to rant about at the minute as well. So I've got just so much going on in the world that I ain't happy with.
I may just.
Just anyone. Yeah, I watched a Netflix. Seaspiracy, it's called.
Right.
All right. Have you got Netflix?
Yes, I have.
Watch Seaspiracy, all right, and watch Cowspiracy as well. Just watch them. Anyone who listens, anyone who likes a documentary, watch them. They will open your eyes a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. So that's my little bit at the end. But anyway, that's because I was talking about ranting and that. I was watching it the other night, and it just gave me another rant, basically. So.
Right, what I'm going to do for the end of the show is to say we spoke about obviously playing a couple of DPART songs. This last song, I'm going to have to get it back up. So, do you want to just explain to people about this one? It's the Declan Rice one.
I guessed it was that one. Yeah, it's a song called Declan Rice. No, this was this is a song called Declan Rice. He's obviously the linchpin of the Mighty Hammers midfield. DPART is a big West Ham fan. He actually Declan Rice video messaged him, video chatted him about it and that. So he sort of heard it. He got played on Soccer AM the other week behind the Showboat. And funny, last night, I can't remember who it was now. They were saying who shall I have on for a feature slot, and Declan Rice actually put on there DPART music. So we'll see if anything comes through. Yeah, man.
I saw that as well. I was like,
I know, I was well excited.
Just got out of the shower, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll just put an Instagram post on."
So we'll see if anything comes from that. Let's hope so. But it's a brilliant song, and it's you can download that as well on Spotify. The video's on YouTube. Yep. The video's obviously filmed at the church, the Mighty Olympic Stadium. It's another deep song, but it's quite uplifting as well. So yeah, DPART and Declan Rice.
Yeah.
Or not? No, we're coming in.
Truth.
Everyone's saying he's leaving. Really ain't gone yet. I'm gonna regret that one. Like last year, we nearly went down, so respect the rise. Grab a ball and I run with it like I'm Declan Rice. It was broke, now I'm just trying to mend my mind. Writing lines, yeah, I'm living that detention life. Yeah, I'm living that detention life. I don't need your acceptance. I grab a ball and I run with it like I'm Declan Rice. Yo. Was moving at a good pace, they threw a spanner in the wheels. You ain't Declan Rice, don't roll with hammers in the field. But neither have I, but at least I don't claim to have. Really ain't the same as man working, got this fame to grab. Don't care about money, I just want to be heard. I just want to stand out, not just be one of the herd. You heard? The DPART's the realest out. Didn't think I'd chart, so can you tell me how you're feeling now? A good team had to put feelers out like a scout. That's the realest out. Can't have that conversation without us. See, I only put facts in the beat. So if this music don't pay it straight back to the street. You see, I see these men there in a tap when it's right. That's a CDM there. Are you catching these rhymes? You can buy bare packs that ain't a match for the side. You can buy bare packs that ain't a match for the side. No. Yeah, we nearly went down, so respect the rise. Got the ball and I run with it like I'm Declan Rice. It was broke, now I'm just trying to mend my mind. Writing lines, yeah, I'm living that detention life. Yeah, I'm living that detention life. I don't need your acceptance. I grab the ball and I run with it like I'm Declan Rice. Grab the ball and I run with it like I'm Declan. By my side in a battle, only men that are noble. Smash the UK, maybe them will be global. Or at least go to Europe like the Europa League. If you're hating on me, one day I hope you see. If you hope to see me failing, then that's hopeless, G. When you combine this work ethic with the skill that I have, I got the captain's armband, yeah, I'm the man of the match. I got the captain's armband, yeah, I'm the man like long shots like J. Cole, but I ain't got a crooked smile. The way I slide in, 2-footed wild. Should get sent off, but the ref shook. Look into my eyes, you see that dead look? That's because I'm damaged by my youth, but I'm glad, cause that's what made me a savage in the booth. Now I find a heartbeat and then I cram it with the truth. If you can't see I'm real, then put that camera there on zoom like. Yeah, we nearly went down, so respect the rise. Grab the ball and I run with it like I'm Declan Rice. It was broke, now I'm just trying to mend my mind. Writing lines, yeah, I'm living that detention life. Yeah, I'm living that detention life. I don't need your acceptance. I grab the ball and I run with it like I'm Declan Rice. Grab the ball and I run with it like I'm Declan. The readers no cap like the letters all lowercase. If they don't know the name, I guarantee they know the face. Back then was dots in mains block, already know the place. Hit the beat with similar force to what an explosion makes. I'm colossal, I'm cooking like my brother T's brand. That's why you never see me fall and only see me stand up for the things I stand for and I believe. And old school geezer in a pub down in East End. Tell the barman I want some crisps and a pint of Amstel. That don't mean I ain't hood cause I am still. Pain in my life, coping more than you can handle. Search but I still ain't found no peace like mantle. Moving all promiscuous, rocking nice Timberlands. Stealing all my land cause I don't know what got into man. Don't think I'm humble cause it seems it on the Instagram. Kick two-footed slide like an injured man last year. Nearly went down, so respect the rise. Just a brother trying to ball like I'm Declan Rice. Yeah, we nearly went down, so respect the rise. Grab the ball and I ran with it like I'm Declan Rice. I don't need your acceptance. Grab the ball and I run with it like I'm Declan Rice. Grab the ball and I run with it like I'm Declan. Truth.
Oh, see, I didn't stop it in time. That was Declan Rice by DPART. Just going to bring Darren back in. There we go.
What a tune!
I know. Do you know what? Right, if you were, because I'm obviously on Facebook Live, you just see me just like my head along to that.
Oh yeah, no, I couldn't. I tried watching on Facebook Live earlier, but there's a delay, so I kept hearing a delay, so that was doing my head in. So, but yeah, no, yeah, DPART, he's brilliant. He's not your everyday rapper. He's just get on Spotify, download his albums, download his singles. Back him. He's a good lad, and he's doing proper music. So,
and I think obviously what he's trying to, the awareness that he's trying to raise is, he's not trying to sit there and turn around and go, look, you've got to be rich, you've got to have this car and that car, and you've got to
it's not like I say, it's not it's not. It's meaningful rap. Do you know what I mean? It's what rap. Ultimately, rap wasn't designed to brag about how many Xanax you can do, and it wasn't designed to brag about all the stuff you've got. It was designed for people to sort of talk about all songwriting, to put down your feelings into words and things like that, and a message into words. It's I'm not the biggest fan of Tupac, but he weren't rapping about all his gold, was he? Do you know what I mean? It's I can't get with modern rap. I can't get with all this. And the thing is, 90% of them are rapping about things they've never experienced and never seen in their life. You've got a small percentage of that live the life they talk about, but the rest don't. They just they're packaging and selling and a product that just ain't worth selling. Sorry, anyway, rant over, because if not, I'll get talking about music and everyone will be a bastard.
No, but this is the thing. This is another thing that I wanted to actually kind of runs into it as well. It's like there's a group called Brotherhood. They're actually two brothers, and they do what I call like mini raps on Instagram. They've been on SBTV and stuff like that.
Cool.
They have got on Spotify if you go on Spotify, but they're very heavily involved in football as well down here. They but obviously you've heard of SE Dons.
Yes.
They've kind of done the same down here. They've got a football team called Kitcheners. They've got channel and everything like that. They're involved in that, but they started off with the music side of it. But they talk about issues that are going on in the world.
Yeah.
So they're talking about how they feel about these issues that are going on in the world. I'd love to get them on at some point, because once again, still associated with football. We try and do things still associated with football, but then go on to other aspects as well. So I'd love to be able to try and get them on and see if I can have a chat with them about doing it. But they're very, just say, check them out on Instagram. They're on YouTube as well. So yeah, check them out. They've got some of them. It's frustrating because you want it to go on a little bit longer. They're only like,
come on, do some proper raps, man. TikToks are great, but I want more bang for my buck, man.
I think they're like 60 seconds long or something like that.
But isn't that a good sell? Isn't that a good USP though? Because it leaves you wanting more, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? It leaves you thinking, oh man, I wish that was a bit longer. Well, can't wait till the next one.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a good.
But I'll see if I can try and get them on. But no, I think tonight has been it's been really productive. Really, I think obviously getting those issues out there, and hopefully this will lead to getting people talking and stuff like that, which is what our aim was.
Yes.
and hopefully help a few people. But yeah, thank you for joining me again.
No, always a pleasure.
Oh no, it is.
And we'll be back. When are we back? When are we back? We'll be back next Wednesday. We're back next Wednesday, don't we?
We're back next Wednesday. We'll have a chat what we're doing. I'll let people know, obviously, over my station, what we're doing
accordingly.
But what I will turn around and say, if people do, when you go onto Podbean, please share it, especially this podcast that we've done. Share it, let people know about it, and you may pick up a couple of other podcasts that we've done, and you might enjoy them as well. But yeah,
you never know. You never know.
Yeah, so until next Wednesday, Darren, I will speak to you when I speak to you, and everyone else, I'll see you next Wednesday.
Yes. See you later. Bye. Love you.
See you later.
Bye. Love you. Bye. Love you.